Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. It is March the 23rd, 2017, Thursday. Day 20 of TowerGate. Well. Kind of a slow day today. There's no hearings going on. So it looks like the next date for hearings will be Tuesday of next week. And we are going to hear from Brennan, former CIA director. We are going to hear from our good buddy Clapper, James Clapper. He'll also be showing up to lie to us some more. And of course, Sally Yates. She was the acting attorney general for a couple of weeks until Trump fired her after taking over as president of the United States. So Sally Yates, James Clapper, and John Brennan next Tuesday, and they'll have some splaining to do. Today, of course, we're still getting some of the fallout from yesterday. And for those of you who missed that yesterday, if you were just too busy, didn't see my video, or didn't keep up with the news cycle, we had a major development yesterday, something I've been predicting would probably have to happen, which is that someone from the inside, part of the intelligence community, would have to come forward with some information. And that's exactly what happened. Yesterday, Representative Nunes, who is heading up the intelligence committee that's looking into all things Russia, including the alleged wiretapping and that type of thing. He gave a press conference yesterday and told us that he had received or looked at 2 days prior some logs that were brought to him by at least two, he doesn't say exactly how many, but at least two individuals brought to him logs which showed clearly unmasked conversations about Trump and his team. And of course, these logs are just a sample of what's out there. There's apparently a lot more to be looked at. And so Nunes, of course, came out and gave a press conference. He contacted the head of the NSA and the CIA. He spoke with them. He did try to contact Comey. Comey wasn't available, and Comey has not called him back. As far as we know, he never has called them back. Comey's probably spinning right now, trying to figure out how he's going to spin his way out of this. So, because he just appeared in front of Congress and essentially lied. Although I imagine he's going to use the spin, the Clinton type spin, which is he denied wiretapping. He'll say, "Oh well, you said wiretapping. We weren't wiretapping," and he'll mince the words. That's exactly how he'll try to slide and slip out of that. But anyway, it was a pretty interesting day. Trump has been, of course, briefed by Nunes, and so assuming Trump didn't already know that, which I'm not so sure he didn't, he certainly does now. So, it appears also from that press conference that Nunes noticed that there wasn't much about intelligence or Russians or anything like that, that it really just appeared to be eavesdropping on Clinton and Trump and his transition team. So this is stuff that happened after he won the presidency and while he was in transition. So obviously there's a lot more to learn about this. They'll be digging into it. There's several questions that need to be asked, and I'm sure will be asked next Tuesday. Whether or not we get answers, I don't know. But certainly at this point, the questions are, who authorized the unmasking of these conversations of the Trump transition team and Trump himself? Who may have had access to these logs? How many people through how many intelligence agencies could have been given or would have been, or these logs would have been made available to? You certainly want to take a look at those FISA warrants, or at least ways you want to look at the documents that are submitted to the FISA court to request the surveillance, because that's very important, knowing what the reason was that they used to get the FISA warrants to conduct the surveillance, assuming this was legal surveillance. And Nunes said at this point it looks like it was legal surveillance. That means that there should be a paper trail, and that means that there should also be certainly individuals within the intelligence community, maybe within the FBI, that are on record, literally on paper record, and they're going to have to come out and testify. They probably will say as little as possible, but ultimately the the investigation will move forward, and eventually we will get down to who those people were. So it was a pretty positive day from that perspective. Certainly a good day for Donald Trump. He was vindicated. I still think, as I've told many of you in previous videos, that this looks to me like a Clinton operation. Certainly Obama was involved, is, you know, certainly being briefed and all this sort of thing. But I just keep going back to that visit on the plane with Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton, because it was after that event that a couple of days later, or 3 days later, we have Comey basically coming out, giving the press conference, saying, laying out all this information, all this damning evidence he has on Hillary, but then telling us that no prosecutor would attempt to prosecute a case like this, which no one really believed. And then all these other things started happening. So I believe that we're going to find out at the end of the day that this was really hatched as a Clinton operation and found its way into the White House as well. If you look at the players involved, Attorney General Lynch, Director Comey, certainly Brennan, these are all people who come out of the Clinton camp. These are people in the Clinton inner circle. Certainly they were serving in the Obama administration, but they're all people who have their ties and their allegiances within the Clinton circle. So I think that if we ever get to the bottom of it, we'll find Bill and Hillary Clinton at the very bottom of this, if we ever make it that deep. So anyway, very interesting to follow this, and so we'll keep doing that. It looks like, of course, today they were going to have a hearing on the health care, and Trump's working really hard to try to bring the two sides together to get this done. He's very, very good at that sort of thing. He might succeed. It looks to me like they still don't have the votes. There's still some things that have not been able to get worked out. So as of 2 o'clock in the afternoon today on Thursday, as I'm making this video, it doesn't appear they're going to get a deal, but I would not underestimate Trump's ability to pull everybody together and find something that they can get done. And the big reason he wants to do this is because he wants to move forward with the budget. And they can't really move on the budget until they get the health care thing done, because the numbers and part of the budget is included in the repeal of Obamacare and the new plan. And so if you do the budget without it, then he would have to wait almost a whole year to go back and look at healthcare again. I don't think he wants to do that. I wouldn't recommend that. So they have to work out the differences between Ryan's plan and the Freedom Caucus and some of the more hardcore right-wing type conservatives who just don't like the plan. So there'll be some wheeling and dealing, and we'll see if Trump's able to pull those two sides together and get that done. Let's see what else is going on. Doesn't look like much today. Like I said, we're still seeing the fallout. Now, something we'll need to watch for over the next couple of days, because now that these individuals have come out and brought these logs to Nunes, there's going to be a lot of people wanting to know who these guys are. That's for sure. But there's also going to be a lot of people starting to get very, very nervous because they know that as they're feeling the pressure, those people who are guilty or involved somehow in this surveillance of Trump and his team are going to start getting very nervous and thinking about saving their necks. So you will start to see, as you always do in these types of situations, that once the dam breaks and once the information comes out that could lead people down the path, which could result in people being charged with crimes, a lot of these people begin to think about saving their own neck, and they begin to come out and start coming forward with information, and the whole tide turns. So I think that that's something to look for over the weekend, is to see if any more people come out. I expect there will be people coming out. Some people don't like to go public. Some people will do it secretly through third parties, but you will start to see more and more leaks coming from the intelligence community, from people who think that maybe they could end up being sacrificed on the altar of justice, and that the big fish will get away. So this is kind of what's happening. And of course, whenever you have situations like this, you also find an increasing number of strange and suspicious deaths, car wrecks, people falling off roofs, people having heart attacks, things like that. People start having accidents. So you can always look for that. And of course, as I stated, the big goal with the establishment right now is to try to keep running this Russia line, which I think is running out of steam. But again, as I said, never underestimate the intelligence community, as rogue as many of them are, to produce some false intelligence to try to tie Trump or people around him to Russia and to continue this. And I don't think they're going to back down from this at all. I think that this is something they're going to keep running and running and running with, even though it will be largely disproven in the hearings. It will be largely disproven as far as the facts are concerned. There won't be any facts to tie Trump to some sort of Russian collusion, but that won't stop them, because this is really all they have. And so all they can hope to do is to keep piling up this propaganda, which is of course untrue, to try to muddy the water. And that's the only thing they can do right now, is to try to muddy all the water so that it's not clear to people exactly what is being learned and what is being proven to be false. So this is the only thing they have, and I don't think that they'll give up on impeachment. I think that they'll continue this throughout the entire 4 years of his presidency. So they'll never stop chasing that dog at all. So anyway, I think that's where we sit today. I expect next Tuesday will be very, very interesting in those hearings. And also I think that we probably will be having a return visit from James Comey. And I expect that that's going to be a very hostile hearing. Because a lot of the things that they asked him a couple of days ago that he denied or wouldn't talk about have suddenly come to light. So he is going to have a very interesting group of fairly angry people questioning him. I don't think they'll go as easy on him as they have in the past. And quite honestly, I think for people like Trey Gowdy and other people on that commission, they've been through so many of these types of hearings with James Comey, and his way of dealing with this, not commenting on things, twisting things, spinning things. I just think that there's a level of frustration with some of these people on that committee, and I think they're losing patience very quickly with James Comey. I wouldn't doubt what if when he comes back, and I'm sure he will, to testify, that we see that being a very ugly hearing. So anyway, that's where we are. I'll be back tomorrow to follow up to see if anything new has turned out. But at this point, it looks like we're still looking at the fallout from Nunes, his Democrat counterpart, who's also on the committee, was pretty miffed, and he gave a press conference yesterday as well. Adam Schiff, I think his name is. He's a Democrat from California, and of course he's in full damage control, cover-up mode. He was unhappy because Nunes didn't come to him first. Nunes chose to go to other people, but he has been briefed. He didn't get to see the logs himself, but he will be in full defense mode, in full damage control mode, and we'll see how he handles the truth as it becomes obvious to him. Alrighty, so y'all have a good day, and I appreciate all my subscribers. Appreciate all you tuning into my video. And yes, I am aware that Facebook may have removed my previous video from their public forum because I asked the question whether or not the terrorist attack yesterday in the UK may have been carried out by Islamic terrorists. And of course, you're not allowed to do that with Facebook and Twitter and things like that. They don't like you talking about Islamic fundamental Islamic terrorism. So anyway, yeah, I'm aware of that. YouTube hasn't pulled the video, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, y'all take care, be good, and I'll be back tomorrow with hopefully some exciting new details of the drip, drip, drip. See ya.